The era of pandemics requires a revision of the 20th century sociopolitical psychological typology of the mind and behavior. The new categories that should be introduced are self-explanatory: pandemic qualified and pandemic disqualified types. Undoubtedly, all individual classificatory attempts and personal applications of these categories will be called into question by the prejudiced right to personal belief that there is only one category, pandemic qualified, which will produce devastating consequences for planetary human communities.
What is my reality? What is my reality? My reality. It's on the news every day. My reality is on the news daily. So, and my reality sometimes makes me feel like this because it becomes more difficult and fearful to deal with. So, my reality as a black woman, as a black in the United States, is on TV every day when you see all the killings and you see the brutality and you see people being shot for no reason, for simple, mundane things, being hunted down. That's my reality. And when I see it, I think, oh my, that could be my son. That could be my brother. That could be my nephew. That could be my cousin. That could be a family member. And I grieve. I grieve for those family who's lost a loved one to this senseless brutality. Because their lives matter. One thing that has been very helpful, that has given me and kept me grounded when I feel all this rage and I feel all this fear, is to turn to this, turn to painting. Being a black artist, that has been helpful with my reality. And to tell me to say their name and to encourage others to keep saying their name. To never forget to say their name. Please, we need to keep saying their name and hope that my reality will change for better. My reality will change when all our people are being not hunted down and the killing stops. My lives matter. Black lives matter. That's my reality.
Outside of her home on the same day that I woke up to yet another massive influx of news and social media videos presenting our crumbling society. One video depicting a couple of armed lawyers threatening peaceful Black Lives Matter protesters, after another video of protesters taking arms to protect themselves from horrific police brutality, had all sent anxious jolts of a looming civil war through my body. I was scared. My reality's changing. The dream of a peaceful society that was sold to me as a child is slowly slipping through my fingers. And the future looks murky. We decided to film The Sound of Silence as a one-take taking in Heidi's emotional state as she emerges from a peaceful landscape across the street into the yard full of construction chaos. Our intention was to capture the progression of raw emotion and action as it came up, since this was the house in front of which the violent incident had happened. It was important to film every nuanced action that Heidi took as they communicated the thought process that leads to exhaustion in the finale. We're exhausted. How much further can we go?
This video is a response to an incident that happened near my home on July 4th. At the top of our street, a house was rented out to hundreds of raucous partygoers. The cars were streaming down our driveway. We went outside to clear our space, and the ensuing confrontation, a man ran out and hit our son so hard on the jaw, blood gushed into the street. As I waited for him outside, emergency, there was a woman smoking under a known smoking sign, and I listened to the police a few yards away express concern about intervening. It was 3 a.m. then, and I was silently crying alone in my car as I realized I was in the epic center of chaos in the wake of a revolution, a pandemic, and from where I was sitting, an unfettering of the civilized world. My version of reality is the terrifying helplessness a mother feels, an animal howl, when she realizes she does not have the tools she needs to protect her family and the world.
I hereby declare on oath that I absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, potentate, state, or sovereignty, of whom or which I have heretofore been a subject or citizen, that I will support and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I will bear arms on behalf of the United States when required by the law, that I will perform no combatant service in the armed forces of the United States when required by the law, that I will perform work of national importance under civilian direction when required by the law, and that I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. So help me God.
My reality used to be performative for everyone besides myself. There isn't representations of people like me. My old reality was just blending in and survive. But I grew tired of that. And I grew tired of making myself small and convenient for a mold that was never made for me. My reality as of now is doing the right thing, not the easy thing, of putting myself to criticism while still preserving the kindness I have for myself, accepting the gritty and the ugly that I can produce, and having that not lower my value, taking up space, being twice as loud and twice as aggressive. It may take my entire life defining reality, but I'm not afraid anymore. My reality used to be performative for everyone besides myself. There isn't representations of people like me.
Light patterns. I take my evening walk, and as I saunter across the bridge, I see this beautiful sight. Petals floating, petals moving, bicyclists passing. The jacaranda talks to me tonight.
I am the goddess of the future. I want to lift up humanity. I thrive on the electric energy of the city. I thrive on the electric energy of the city. And the I thrive on the electric energy of the city and the tranquility and majesty of nature. I try to accept my imperfections and grow through this process. I acknowledge my fears, and I try not to live within them. We are at the precipice of the unknown.
I am here in your...
I work hard to uphold the vision of our thriving democracy. I find joy in the mundane. I am love. I am human. I am the goddess of the future. I embrace and nurture my inner child. I dress up and dance and play. I am love. I want to lift up humanity. I want to grow wise. I am human. This is who I am today. This is who I am today.
You are here, and I am here in your apartment. Thank you for the keys. You have been gone for a long time. Sometimes I can hear your neighbors in the hallway with their keys. Sometimes I have a strong idea of you in a car to get to a ferry to get to Alcatraz. Sometimes I pretend that I am on an island too, and that this is my apartment and that these are my things. And I broke a plate. It was a freak accident. It fell off the drying rack. I'm sorry. Also, I wore your husband's hat to a cafe down the block. My body has used up your beans, sunflower seeds, this raisin, the rest of the peanut butter jar, scoops of strawberry, tomatoes, olive oil, tea, tampon, wine, slivers of cheese. But then I watched that documentary you mentioned about why I should not eat cheese. Either way, I might be gaining weight. I started reading this and finished this. I am made and I am remade, and so is your bed. You need to come back because I won't do the dishes if no one gets to see. And because there's this mystery about people who leave us.
The era of pandemics requires a revision of the 20th century.
And get $10 off $30. Now that's even good in this neighborhood. With Western Union, you can tap here and send cash there to give a gift back home.
In pandemic disqualified types. Undoubtedly, all individual classificatory attempts and personal applications of these categories will be called into question by the prejudiced writer to personal belief that there is only one category.
My version of reality is art, specifically abstract art. In Philadelphia, it has its own construct. For me, abstract art allows me to express myself, my thoughts, and everything that comes to mind. That's my version of reality.
Reality. I understand what I experience. I feel sure about what I feel. Long ago, a TV skit had a husband arriving home from work after his night shift. He enters the kitchen and pours himself a cup of coffee, then goes into the bathroom and closes the door. His wife leaves the bedroom in bathrobe, having awakened to prepare for work. She goes to the kitchen and pours herself a cup of coffee. They did not encounter each other. This became a metaphor for me, and I became aware of the sense that an entire reality was active beyond the world that I experienced. Like a day shift and a night shift, like another civilization living beneath the surface of my awareness, and that I had glimpsed its existence.
This is my series, Pandemic Daydreams, created during the COVID-19 outbreak in the year 2020. Often chaotic, colorful, emotional. Acrylic on canvas. This is one of about 20 paintings that was created during this period of time.
Everything the power of the world does is done in a circle.